Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I want to start off by making a little bit of a confession. I am officially insane. I am a crazy, crazy person. I'm not afraid to admit it, and I like to believe that it's a good crazy, not a bad crazy. I am actually, believe it or not, a second cousin of Muhammad Ali. His cousin married my aunt, which kind of makes us sort of related. I'll take anything I can get because I think that Ali's a great man, and I'm honored to even be connected with him on any way, on any level. In fact, he, in my opinion, is one of the greatest men or people in human history. And if you look at his life, if you really want to understand how to get through adversity, now this is especially true for young black men, but really true for anybody. If you really want to understand how to get through adversity, look at the way Ali led his life. There is no athlete out here that's like him, nobody that will take the stands that he took and pay the price that he paid. And what was amazing was that even though he wasn't the best athlete of his era in the opinions of some, he was just so much greater than an athlete, and I just am so respectful of him and what he gave to the world. In fact, when I see him really being out there, really taking what he had and being there for the people, and saying he wanted to do things for the children of the next generation, I see myself as one of those kids. I look at those old videos from the early 70s and the 80s, and I say, man, one of those kids is me. Like I'm not in that crowd, but I'm one of those kids who's inspired 30, 40, 50 years later by the things that this man did in the 1960s. Now, with that being said, I want to lay out three things that crossed my mind today, which hopefully will help you understand why I spend a lot of my time angry to the point of borderline insanity. Not to the point where it's out of control, but really to the point where I feel like this is justifiable anger. This is something that black people, I think, should be mad about. I'm really mad, and I hope that you're going to be mad with me. The first issue that I think every black person should be upset about is this urban violence epidemic. All these young black people, particularly black men, being shot up in the streets at an early age. The 8th grade is not the time where you should have to worry about being gunned down by an AK-47 on your way to school. Nobody should have to go through that in middle school. So many millions of our kids grow up either dead, in prison, or traumatized from what they saw or the risk that it could happen to them. You're not supposed to have so many friends of yours murdered at an early age. And I think that this is something we should be mad about. Not just mad about the Mike Brown killing by the police officer, which is certainly something to be angry about. I'm talking about the fact that there are a lot of people with black faces who are contributing to this genocide, but guess what? Their weapons are being fueled to them by outside forces. People make money selling guns underground in the hood so these black men will shoot each other up. And I believe that this is a strategy. This is not coincidental. This is not accidental. This is deliberate. They want you dead. They want your son in a casket or in a prison cell. And part of it came to a head for me this week when I heard about a 3-year-old girl who was shot down by a machine gun in Detroit this week. A machine gun in a 3-year-old girl over an argument on Facebook. If you're not sick of that shit, excuse my French, if that stuff doesn't make you sick, then something is wrong with you. If you're not sick of this, then you are a sick person. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, it makes me really angry, and I'm tired of being nice about this stuff, because there's a time where you have to be ready to go to war, to fight to protect the people that you love, and that time is not tomorrow, it's not next week, next month, it's right now. The second thing I think we should all be angry about is the black unemployment issue. Black unemployment is as bad right now with a black president and all this other stuff. It's as bad right now as it was when Dr. King was alive. I'm talking about 50 years. Black unemployment has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. Black wealth has not increased. It has actually dropped over the last several years. I'm not trying to sit here and say that we should blame this on one person or the other, but I definitely think that we should have a deep concern and really an irritation with the fact that we live in a nation that expects black people to be silent when our unemployment rate is 12, 13, 14%, sometimes high as 25 and 30% for African American males in urban areas, and yet white people can scream and yell and holler and get mad because their unemployment rate is 7, 8, 9%. So they can complain about 7, 8, 9%, but we're expected to be quiet when our unemployment rate reaches 14, 15%? That's white supremacy. When you're not allowed to complain about something that other people would never consider to be unacceptable, that means somebody is oppressing you. So when you hear a politician, I don't care if the politician's white, black, or otherwise, tell you that you should not be outraged that black unemployment is that high, that is white supremacy at work. Ain't nobody going out telling white folks, well, it's your fault that you don't have a job. You're lazy. You people don't like to work. They're not saying it to white folks, but they'll say it to you every day. You know why they'll say it to you? Because they know that you'll believe it. You're more likely to accept the blame for your situation as opposed to holding people accountable. And the way I see it is, I'm sorry, if I'm giving a politician a third of my paycheck and I'm voting that person into office, then my problems are also your problems. And if you can't help me solve my problems, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, anything, if you can't help solve the problems that matter to my community, then you don't deserve to be in office. You do not deserve my support. I respect myself and I respect my children enough that I'm not going to let you pimp me and control me just so you can get my vote, so you can sit up there and do nothing or blame all the issues on me. That's ridiculous. That's the second thing black people should be mad about. The third thing that I believe every black person in America should be absolutely livid about is the mass incarceration epidemic and the war on drugs. I'm talking about the fact that for the last 40 years, there has been a consistent effort by the United States government to put more of its citizens in prison than any society in the last 1,000 years. You have to search high and low to find any culture in world history that has put this many people in prison and has made this much money off of what really technically is legalized slavery. And I say technically, I'm talking about, go read the Constitution. The 13th Amendment says that slavery is forbidden in the United States unless you've been convicted of a felony. That means that if you are a felon, if you are labeled, then you are effectively a slave. Well, that's a very slippery slope, because if you change the law and you target certain people and racially profile them and stalk them down and stop and frisk them, then you're more likely to find them in violation of some law than you are somebody that you don't stop and frisk. So you look at New York, they'll stop and frisk brothers on the street all day, but they don't stop and frisk those Wall Street executives that are walking around with cocaine in their pocket. And imagine if they suddenly gave them 100-year sentences for carrying that cocaine in their pocket. Imagine how many of those guys would be rotting away in prison right now. How many of these law-abiding citizens, these people that we respect so much, these people that are upstanding members of society, would suddenly be labeled felons and therefore pulled into this Americanized slavery. So I'm encouraging you to really learn about this incarceration issue. Don't look at it as an us versus them, meaning those people are the ones who go to jail. I'm a good person and that's why I don't go to jail. Anybody who understands the system knows that you don't have to be a bad person to go to prison in America. They want you in prison. They want to catch you on any violation, anything that you do that might be illegal. A little bit of weed in your pocket, you jaywalk, you do something, whatever. They want to find some reason to lock you up and put you in jail because they make money from you. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm joining Dr. Cornel West this week, and I hope that you'll join us. Please, please, please. October 22nd of this year is the National Day of Resistance against mass incarceration, police terror, and police brutality. We're having marches all over the country. You can go to stopmassincarceration.net, stopmassincarceration.net, and you can join the march. Find one that's in your city, and if you don't live in one of the cities where a march is being held, then hold one in your city. Reach out to the organizers and tell them you want to do something in your city and do it. I'm here in Chicago. I will be out there and I will be marching with my brothers, and because I'm mad about this issue. I think this is something that we should all be upset about, and I don't think that there should be any shame in being an angry black man or angry black woman. That anger, as long as you channel it properly, as long as you channel it into action, then that anger can actually fuel you to do what's right. Because when we got little 3-year-old girls getting shot down by machine guns, at what point does it make sense for us to start getting mad? How long should we remain passive and hoping that things get better? How long should we be quiet about this suffering? Little girls are being shot up in the street. Little boys are being murdered before they get a chance to finish high school. It's time to be mad. So I encourage you to be angry. Don't be afraid. In case you're wondering, I am right now in the process of moving forward I've got some lawyers on board and we've raised some money. I'm putting in a whole lot of my own money. And we are going to go after some of these record labels that are mass marketing homicide amongst young black males. If you're making music that's encouraging young black men, marketing the idea of them shooting each other down, you're not a friend of mine. You're not my ally. I'm not your buddy. And some of these people are my friends, and I'm losing friends over this. I just want to tell you the truth. Behind the scenes, I'm losing a lot of friends. People think I'm crazy. I'm going overboard. I'm pushing too hard. I'm fighting a battle that I can't win. Nobody can take on BET. Dr. Boyce, what are you doing? Well, you know what? When I see these children going down, when I see what these kids are going through, because we as adults are too afraid to do anything about it, it makes me understand the fact that most of us are just cowards. Most of us have been bred to be so shallow, so weak, so materialistic that we will take a dollar bill in exchange for a human life. We will let people, let these racist power structures, and sometimes racism has a black face on it. We will let these racist power structures create systems in our communities that lead to the systematic, deliberate, and consistent extermination of black people, the murdering of black families, the ending of lives of black children. And we sit there silently and passively because we're hoping that the white man's going to give us a dollar bill. Well, I just have to tell you the truth. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not telling you what kind of person you need to be, but what I am encouraging you to do, and this is a cue I actually take from some of the strongest men that I know, the men that I respect, and the women that I respect. I'm thinking about great soldiers like Angela Davis, who stood up against all odds and was facing time in prison because of what she believed in. I'm not half as brave as she was. I've never had to face something like that. I'm talking about Dr. Cornel West, who is the closest thing, and I'm telling you this, I'm looking you in your eye when I tell you this. I hope you'll listen to me when I say this. Dr. West is the closest thing that we have in America right now to Martin Luther King Jr. If you look at Dr. King's life and you study it, and you study the stands that he took and the unpopularity that he had to go through, you will see that Cornel West is really carrying the baton for Dr. King. If you believe in what Dr. West is doing, if you believe in what I'm doing, don't just watch the fights go down. Get involved. Social media allows you to have a voice. Talk about it. You can share things. You can please give some money, and I'm just gonna be straight up and let you know. Some of this stuff costs money, and I'm not doing some kind of Bishop Eddie Long routine and putting it in my pocket so I can drive a Bentley. I don't drive a Bentley. I don't have a car. You may not know that. I don't even have a vehicle because I put all my money into the things that I believe in, and I don't care about materialistic possessions. I buy suits because I have to go give speeches and I have to look a certain way, but that's about it. So what I'm saying to you is that we have to work together, and I'm asking you to give something whenever we start our campaign. We're going to start our campaign pretty soon to raise money to fight some of these issues. I hope you'll give a little bit of money, maybe the amount of money that you might spend going to dinner at Applebee's, or 1/3 of the money you might spend at a trip to Walmart, and I guarantee you that we will put this money into action. We will make something happen. If you don't believe that we can make something happen on a limited budget, go back and look at my record. Look at what we did. We killed Lil Wayne's Mountain Dew endorsement. He was going to do a world tour with Mountain Dew. I don't know how much they were going to pay him, but I think it was over $20 million. That's what one of the rappers that I talked to on the inside actually said to me. He said that it's probably between 20 and 25 million. And we killed the deal. We killed it because he disrespected Emmett Till in one of his lyrics, and we challenged him, and we challenged Mountain Dew. Russell Simmons and again, I don't agree with Russell Simmons on everything, mind you, so don't think that I give a blank check to everything he says. But one thing Russell Simmons did a great job on was we had an incarceration campaign last year, and we were actually get the Attorney General Eric Holder to declare an end to the war on drugs, which was the most significant incarceration announcement since probably 1986, when they first started the war on drugs. When they first started the Sentence Reform Act. Actually, the war on drugs started in the early 70s. So we're able to get things done. I'm probably going to come back and ask your help. And what I want you to practice doing is I want you to practice being proactive. Proactive means that I don't want you just watching what's happening. I don't want you just listening. I don't want you just internalizing. I want you engaging. I want you to do something. Please, we need your help, because I can tell you behind the scenes, I got enemies, I got haters, I got people that are coming at me from every direction and saying, oh, how can we destroy this guy? This guy's making us mad and we want to take him down. Well, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to go down. But guess what? Somebody could smear me. Somebody could have me killed. I'm not joking. Somebody could, have me incarcerated. Somebody could do something else to take away whatever presence they think that I have in this conversation. And that's why I'm talking to you right now, because I want the effort to continue no matter what happens to me, no matter what happens to people, a guy like Dr. Cornel West. I want us to all realize that we're in this battle together, and we've got to keep fighting. And you can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea. And I think you know this. You've probably heard that before. So implant yourself with that idea. Understand we have an opportunity to do something that will make the world better for our children and our grandchildren. This is our moment in history. This is our chance, and I'll be damned if we're probably not going to seize it. So get mad. Don't be ashamed to be mad. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about being mad, because you have a right to be mad. There are plenty of issues going on in our community that should make us mad. So let's get mad and fight. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Please take care. God bless. I'm gone. Peace.